Hello and welcome to the second episode of The Boomers. I'm Eddie.
And I'm Susan. We're the Boomers.
Here on The Boomers, of course, we've explained in our first episode, if you were able to mull through it, that we're about how your health is dictated by what you eat. We've certainly did a lot of studies, read everything there is about diet and the way it translates to our health. In our first episode, of course, we didn't give you much of that information. We're going to go a little more into detail, and we want to explain a little bit about what we're doing here. We're not famous YouTubers. We're getting into this for the first time. You're seeing the second episode we've ever put on YouTube, and we are struggling with our set. We're struggling with video reproduction and sound and lighting and a lot of things like that we're going through. And we hope that you understand. We want to bring you quality, and we want to bring you something that you will continue to view and continue to be there. And we don't want to just put something out there videotaped out in the yard with our phones. We want to give you something that's really good and good quality.
But we're glad that you're here with us, growing with us, helping us learn, us learning with you. That way we're not holding back on what we're discovering as we do our studies on health and nutrition, and you can help us grow as we learn our studio bugs and get them all worked out.
Yeah, and hopefully those distractions won't continue to be there. And of course we need your feedback. We always need your feedback. We want to know what you eat. We want to know what diet plan you're on. We want to know your health. Are you on any prescription drugs? Are you able to exercise? We're not pandering to those people that can get up and run a marathon. No, not necessarily. Even though no matter where you are, you can always improve your diet and the outcome dictated in health. And weight loss is the byproduct of good nutrition, no matter how you do it. If you compromise your nutrition, you're not going to have the goals that you set for yourself, and if your nutrition's compromised, you're not going to achieve those goals fully.
We go as far back when we talk about diet plans and nutrition to I'll say the founder of medicine was Hippocrates. We've studied him, and he certainly was considered the greatest physician of his time. He was quoted as saying, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine thy food." So we know that even in the earliest of times, we could see that nutrition translates into health.
You know, it's funny, too, that Hippocrates said that so many years ago, and how far away we've gotten from that, especially in the medical industry and in the diet industry also. Everybody wants a piece of the pie. They want to be responsible for telling you what is healthy. What is healthy, Susan?
It's so confusing out there now because there's so many different answers. As the boomers, we come from a generation where, foods were prepared a certain way, but as time has gone on and new generations have come along, there's been improvements on how food's prepared, how it's processed, how it's brought to the table. You can get it quicker, you can get it healthier, you can get it lighter, you can get it just any way you want it. Have it your way.
I see an alarming rate of diseases, malnourishment, in the younger generations than ever before. I buried a lot of my friends. I'm not very old. I am retirement age, I'll give you that. But those people deserved a longer, healthier life, unaffected by their health. They shouldn't have had to been worried about it. And the diseases, heart disease, diabetes, heart attacks, brain cancers of their bodies. And I watched them as the doctors prescribed their treatments, and they treated them with no ideas of how that this is going to end except in death. And I see that today in a few of other of my friends. It's very, very disturbing, and I hate it so much. Cancer is a terrible disease. It sneaks up on a lot of people, and then people live with it for years. Heart disease is another one, where it's slow and it's coming along, and you don't even know that, and all of a sudden you hear the commercial, "I was healthy till I had my heart attack." Well, that's not true. You don't have a heart attack if you don't have heart disease. We have a digestive system in our bodies that, if nourished properly, we have the boosted immunity that discerns between good foods, bad foods, autoimmunity, inflammatory responses, and it nourishes the parts of the body that fight diseases.
As a registered nurse, I see many people with all these diseases he's listed. We are all the time concentrating on your numbers, getting your numbers right. You know, what are your symptoms? What problems can I prescribe this medication for you? Medications have become the top of the list instead of, like Hippocrates said, let food be thy medicine. Doctors will include the phrase, but you need to diet and exercise while they're prescribing their pills.
Yes, and exercise is very important if you can do it, but there is the can you do it part. Are you motivated to do it? Do you have the energy to do it, to sustain it? And a lot of times we restrict our dietary intake of the essential nutrients that give us the energy, that produce the ATP at the cell level, that says, hey, you can now get off the couch and get results from your exercise. A lot of people think they'll go to the gym, or they'll start walking the trail, or they'll start running, biking, or whatever, the outdoor activities that go along with the good lifestyle, and that's going to somehow dictate into good health. In a sense, yes, there are a lot of benefits, and some of the things that cause us, especially if you're looking for weight loss, the same things that cause us to lose weight are the same things that are healthy for us.
And again, I go back to that word malnutrition, poor nutrition, bad nutrition. If you have malnutrition, you're going to suffer with these diseases and problems, and your body is not going to be able to respond to exercise. As he said, you won't even have the energy. If you can't absorb the nutrition, you can't have the output to get up and walk, to get up and move, that can lead to so many positive things when you are eating healthy and able to get up and exercise like you want to.
Well, diet has become a 4-letter word, and Susan and I have an acronym for that. DIET, it's diet-induced eating exercise tendencies. Now, what does that mean? I mean, when I tell you, oh, you need to go on a diet, or you've made your mind up, you've looked in the mirror and said, I've been putting this off for a long time, I need to go on a diet. Wow, what goes through your mind? Spandex, maybe some new tennis shoes, or you're going to join the gym. Oh, and by the way, we've joined the gym, and we're going to take you on a little. We haven't done this in 25 years, have been in any kind of exercise program. So we're going to do this, and we are able to. We're capable. We have the energy to do it, the motivation to do it. But the diet-induced eating tendencies, your brains go in different directions. All of a sudden, you're giving up your favorite foods. You're sacrificing. You're cutting calories. Your plate gets smaller. You're mindfully eating, or you're giving up your favorite things in the world. Is such a sacrifice. And then the hill you have to climb with the exercise gets worse. And it's a daily grind, and it's unsustainable. Diets are unsustainable. Diet is what you eat.
If we would all look at diet in that respect, then you're already on a diet. It's not something you go on and therefore later get off. You've got to find the right foods, the right eating pattern, what works for you to keep you energetic, feeling good, feeling positive, and staying healthy.
And that, in a gist, is what we're here doing at the Boomers. We are going to guide you in a direction that is guaranteed you can eat all you want, when you want. Now, whoa, take a step back. There are a lot of diet plans that say eat 5 times a day. Reduce your saturated fat, your trans fats. Add in good fats. Add in good fruits, vegetables. Add in the green and leafy, the colorful plates. There are advocates out there on diets that say eat as much of this as you can a day. All the fiber you can consume, all the fruits and vegetables you can consume. Stay away from red meat. Stay away from saturated fats. And then they come back and say, well, you can add in a little butter, you can add in a few eggs. And, these vegans that are on the total plant diet, hawk for being healthy and weight loss as a byproduct. Or then there's the paleo diet out there that says, hey, eat a lot of meat and saturated fat, very few simple carbohydrates. But let's first take a step back. Hippocrates once said, first, do no harm. Now, health is dictated only by our diet. Poor health or good health. You can have either one. In the process, though, you can consume foods that are on our shelves in the grocery stores today, on diet plans, MyPlate, the Health Pyramid, USDA. They will tell you right away, how to watch your food that you're eating and how many calories to consume and what's healthy, what's not healthy, and where you fall in those numbers. We don't believe in numbers, and I'm sorry. The numbers they're calculating today are very misleading. And we have another acronym, the PPP, the Pathogenic Propensity Profile. Now, what does that mean? It means what kind of diseases are you headed for? And that profile, your profile, is, are you overweight? Are you on an eating plan? Are you on an exercise plan? And the types of food you're consuming has a pretty distinct outcome in your health.
Because again, nutrition translates into health. It's not all about those plans that they give you, because certainly there's even plans on TV that you don't even have to think about what you eat. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum is you have to work so hard to calculate every calorie and every carbohydrate. You just are counting all the time, and you can't even focus on enjoying your food. Eating should not be that difficult, but eating should be something beneficial to your body, your mind, and your spirit.
Well, and we go back to the diet plans and where they get the roots of these diet plans back in ancient times with paleo, the caveman diet. Then we have the plains diet where the apes left the jungles and went into the plains and started consuming nuts and seeds. Then we have the agricultural revolution where we started farming and we could sustain a population in one area based on plant-based products that we grew in the ground. We have the problems with our diet are the first that we undernourish our digestive system. And this in the boomers is a very big theme. You're going to find out how that if we can nourish our digestive system from the mouth to the anus, the byproduct is going to be nourishment of the rest of our body, the byproduct of weight loss, the byproduct of longevity, good health, fighting diseases, reversing diseases that our body is so wonderful at doing, discerning between pathogens and nourishment, passing them along, chelating the divalent ions that we're bombarded with, that we're so many people worried about, mercury, PCBs in our systems. Our body can discern between that and remove those from our systems. And that's what we're about. We're about nourishment and giving our body and empowering our bodies to do the things that, unfortunately, nobody else can do for us. There's no outside intervention that's going to help you. You're not going to take a load of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients out of a bottle. You're not going to take medication that someone is prescribing for you and reverse and heal and promote good health. You can treat those problems. God, if I got a back pain, a leg pain, yeah, give me some medication. But don't give me medication to treat a problem that otherwise can be treated nutritionally, and then the benefits from that are, you can extrapolate all sorts of benefits. Again, cognitivity, brain health, to synapses in our brain, the prevention of Alzheimer's and all sorts of neurodegenerative diseases, cancer, the interlacing of our DNA at the cell level inside our chromosomes, that we can prevent the free radicals from forming, the reversal of heart disease, all of these things. And then there's pancreatitis and colitis and Crohn's disease, and then there's liver disease, fatty liver disease, and there's gallbladder disease, and there's kidney disease and upper respiratory tract infections. We've studied it. we've seen it. We know how nutrition plays the role, and we're going into detail. And we're going to start with our digestive tract. It is it. It's like the motor, transmission in your car, the rear end, your tires. Early on, you see a lot of these health professionals. They're in their 20s, early 30s, and they still have that new car smell. That's right. You know, they don't have to change the oil yet, and their engines are in great shape, and it doesn't really matter what kind of fuel they burn through that body. And, you know, the tires are still have the first wear on them. And we, though, get to about that same point. We lose that new car smell. And it's time for that overhaul. It's time for the renewing, the restructuring, the rejuvenating, the rebuilding of our body cells, and we have to give it that capability. And we pound ourselves over the first 25, 30 years, 40 years, and then we look in the mirror and go, wow, what's happening to me? This must be a natural. No, it's not. It comes from the pounding of our bodies, the breaking down of our digestive enzymes that break down our food, nourish our bodies, and the pounding of those very organs themselves that feed us, and those organs that digest and give us the good nutrition to our cells. The only way we get hungry is when our cells are crying out for nourishment.
And as we continue on the Boomer channel, we're going to feed you more of this information, literally. We're going to let you know how being healthy from the inside out is the only way to keep our bodies healthy. Learn about our digestive system, learn how to nourish it, and then you'll know how the rest of your body gets nourished.
That's right, and these videos will keep coming. We're going to go in more detail. You're going to learn a lot about how you can take control of your health. Yes, it's going to be controversial. All diet plans are controversial. Some people love, they're vegans because they don't like the idea of eating meat. Some people like the idea of eating meat because they're hunters. There's other reasons in our societies where diets can be taboo, religions where food has to be of a certain origin. There's other ideas about nutrition that if you go around the planet, it all differs. Where we get our nourishment from, where they get their nourishment from, and what they eat, we all have one thing in common. Our bodies break that food down, make it available to our cells, anabolically build up. If you're planning on any kind of exercise program, like we are, we're going to the gym, you know, and we're going to have beach bodies by spring. Sure we are. But to prove a point, you cannot take a diet that restricts nutrition, and we're going to explain nutrition. That's what we are, nutrition dictating to health. You cannot take it and restrict nutrition and expect good results at the gym. That just doesn't happen. You're not going to exercise into super health. Although, when you burn fat, that is a wonderful way to gain health. But if you're doing that with a restrictive nutritional program, eventually that catches up with you. If you want great results when you exercise, diet and exercise, if you want those great results, you've got to have really good nutrition to begin with.
We want to talk to you more about that nutrition, but also we'd love to hear from you. What are you doing now? Are you going to the gym? Do you bike ride? Do you have a routine of exercise? Or do you just feel too tired at the end of the day to even do anything except for go home and sit on the couch? Your diet plan, what kind of foods do you eat? Is it working for you? Do you feel good? Do you go to the doctor, and what does he or she say? Let us know in your comments, and please like and subscribe to our channel, the Boomer Channel, so that we can get more involved in you and help you learn from us.
We love answering questions. Those are the topics that we have on the top of our list, are the ones we get the most questions about. Again, about diet. What do you eat? And that's very important because of all the diet plans out there. You can stick to one, or you may not even have one. You may not be ready to start yet. And those people that can exercise will exercise. Those people that can't exercise can get the same benefits from good nutrition because the changes in our bodies are relative. The amount of exercise you can get is only based on your health at the time. And so whether you're a a couch potato or a marathon runner, the programs that you're on, what your goals are. That's what we want to know, and we'll answer those specific questions. And all of our subscribers, they get immediate and responsive answers to their questions. So until next time, tune into the Boomers. We look forward to seeing you again. I'm Eddie.
And I'm Susan.